activity, there's a couple of vocab terminologies that we need to review. So as I'm going through these in the lesson, you understand the things that I'm talking about. So interest, first of all, is money that is either paid or earned for the use of money. So when would you use interest? Well, for example, like on credit cards. If you put money on a credit card and you don't pay it off, you have to pay interest on the money that's still on that credit card. You also have the reversal, where maybe in a bank account you get paid interest. So you're getting where the bank is paying you to actually use your money, and you're getting paid interest throughout a period of time. CDs, things like that, not music CDs, but CDs in terms of like cash deposits or cash savings bonds, things like that. Those are going to gain interest over a period of time. Principal is the amount of money that was either deposited or borrowed. So that's the initial money. That's the money that you initially took out. So like if you took out a loan to buy a car, the principal is the money that you owe, not including the interest that you're having to pay. Simple interest is the money that is paid or earned only on the principal. So yes, there is a type of interest called compound interest, and that's usually what you will be dealing with, but we're going to start off pretty easy with simple interest, and that's where we're just going to be figuring the interest on the amount of money at the beginning and then finding the interest from there, not adding in the amount, like when you add the interest into your bank account. This money is earned on savings accounts or an investment. It can also be money that you pay for borrowing money, and I kind of discussed that as I went through the vocab. Okay, so how to figure simple interest. You're going to be using this formula quite a bit. So just so I can understand or explain what the formula is, the I is just standing for our interest, and yes, we're just going to be working simple interest. So our interest is equal to our principal. That's the amount of money that we either borrow or that we loan out to somebody. Times our rate, that's going to be our percentage. So usually they'll give us a percent per year, but sometimes they pay us percents per month. And then the amount of time. This is usually in years, but sometimes it does vary, so you're going to have to pay attention to that. Now, as long as we know all three of these four situations, we can always solve for the fourth one, okay? And we don't have to memorize four different formulas. We can plug in the known information into each of those four letters and then solve for the missing letter. So here it says, find the simple interest on your savings account that has $1,000 at 3% interest for 1 year. So we want to figure out our interest. So we've got interest equals, do we know the amount of money that was in the account, our principal? Yes, that was $1,000. So I'm going to put 1,000 in that first spot. Okay, do we know the percent rate? So our rate, yep, that's right here. So times 3%. I'm going to go ahead and write that as 0.03 so I don't forget later. And then times the amount of time. So our amount of time was 1 year, so times 1 year. So to figure out my interest, this is just how much money I'm getting paid for that $1,000. I'm going to go ahead and punch in 1,000 times 0.03 times 1. And when I do that, I get $30. So I am going to earn $30 on that $1,000. So at the end of 1 year, if I haven't taken any money out, I would have $1,030 in my account because the bank is going to pay me that $30 for borrowing and using my money. So that's working with simple interest, and we're going to be practicing this quite a bit throughout this whole activity and lesson. So here, if you go ahead and open up your book to page 101, we're going to go ahead and do this activity together. It says work with a partner. Well, we'll go ahead and do this together. You put $100 in a savings account. The account earns 6% simple interest. So here's our principal. That's how much money we put in. Here's our rate, our R, 6% interest per year. Find the interest earned and the balance at the end of 6 months. So this one's going to kind of be tricky because usually when you work with time, you're going to work off of a year. Okay, so, and it did say per year, so we're going to have to do something a little bit tricky here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find the interest earned. So if we were to go through, there's a couple different ways that we could actually figure this out. If we were to go through and find in a year how much interest was earned, then we could figure out how much interest we'd get per month and go from there. So if I wanted to do that, we're going to figure for a year and then we'll understand it so that we can figure out for 6 months. So we're going to go ahead and do our interest, which we don't know, equals our principal, which was $100, times our rate, which was 6%, so 0.06, times, for right now, we're going to use our year, and then we'll go back and modify that for the 6 months, so times 1 year. So 0.06 times 1 year is times 100, and then times 1 is going to give us $6. That's for a whole year. Okay, so if I wanted to figure out how much I was going to get for each month, well, we're going to take that $6 and we're going to divide it by 12 because there's 12 months in 1 year. So if I take $6 and divide that by 12, it gives me 0.5, which is the same as 50 cents. So every single month, they're going to give me 50 cents for using that $100. So at month 0, well, the interest earned would be $0. So my balance would still be $100 because I put that $100 in there. At month 1, it's now been in for a month, I'm going to get 50 cents added on to that. So my interest would be 50 cents or 0.50. My balance is the 100 plus my 50 cents, so $100 and 50 cents. Okay, so at month 2, now how much interest do I have? Well, you're going to continue to add 50 cents, but I don't want you to put 50 cents here. You're going to add another 50 cents. Okay, so now I've earned $1. Maybe it would be easier for us to go through and just do, we're going to add 50 cents every time. Granted, this is the same as, my sum would be the same as $1. Okay, but to make it easier for you guys, we're just going to add 50 cents to that balance. I now have $101. Okay, but so far I have earned $1 interest, okay? So now we're going to go ahead the next month, add another 50 cents. So now my total interest earned was $1.50. Okay, we're going to add these two together. 101.50. Okay, so let's do one more. The next month, at month 4, I still get another 50 cents. So now my interest is up to $2. And my balance, if I add these together, is now $102. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and finish out months 5 and 6. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and graph it. So we'll graph to begin with. So at month 0, this is our X and this is our Y, we got $100. Month 0, $100. And you can either use a line or a bar graph. That's up to you. I'm going to do a line graph. So month 0, I'm at $100. Okay, at month 1, I'm now at, sorry, this is my X over here. This is my Y, this is my X. At month 1, I'm at $100.50. So month 1, $100.50. Okay, month 2, I'm at $101. So over to 2 up to 101. So you're going to continue in that fashion. So go ahead, pause your video, finish out months 5 and 6, and finish the graphing in your book on page 101, and then check back to check your answers. Okay, you should have ended up with something like this. Although when we did our interest, remember, we just kept adding and putting 50 cents in here, but off to the side, I was putting these numbers in there also. Okay, either way, we still ended up with the balance. Here on this bar, this one I did a bar graph. We were doing a line graph when we went through and did that. We plotted the points. Okay, so that's working with just understanding earning that interest. At the end of 1 year, we would end up earning $6. Here we only ended up $3 ahead because we had only kept it in there